Okay, we're going to sign in and get started with setting up the Autodesk software downloads. It's changed a little bit here for this particular version. They update their website often. Just as an FYI, students get a 36-month license of any Autodesk product available. And what you have to do is you either have to register, and in my case, I had to re-register. So even if you registered before, you want to go through this process of registering. So it's college university, and there's a lot of different things that we can do. Primarily, we're going to be using AutoCAD and Inventor Professional for the most part. By the way, if you're into video game development, Maya is the tool for video game development. Pretty cool stuff. You can either click on Inventor Professional, it's going to ask you to log in. You can click and sign in over here on the right hand side, or you can create the account. If you haven't created an account, or it's been a long time since you've created an account, try create the account. Sign in. I'm going to go ahead and sign in and put in my password. And when you sign in, originally it asked me about, well, if I type in the right password, it'll work. It asked me to update my license agreement and information. So they did change their license agreement. Ultimately, the bottom line is that you can't use this software for commercial purposes. It's used for educational development and or use. We're going to go through the process of downloading Inventor Professional. However, the AutoCAD process, or AutoCAD for Mac, and there's quite a few different software packages available to download. Let's do a quick review. The whole 123 suite, very cool. It's all about making things, so it takes things like pictures from your iPhone and iPad. You take multiple directional shots, and it will stitch them together to make a 3D object out of it. There's 3D Make, which converts your 3D model so you can create something in Inventor and turn it into basically a cardboard cutout, so that way you can actually make a prototype of it. There's some really cool tools like Alias Automotive and Showcase, which are used by major manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz for their designs. You'll see AutoCAD and AutoCAD for Mac. They do not have an Inventor for Mac, however, so just be aware. And by the way, you can download and install any of these software packages. So if you're interested in exploring some of these particular tools. Blue Streak Mobile by Autodesk Labs, and you can go to labs.autodesk.com to check out some of the new software that they're experimenting with. It's available to everybody. Looks like it's a project activities and collaborative on-site tracking tool. Some of the new softwares: Home Styler, redesign your home in 3D and find designer and information. Instructables, Autodesk owns the Instructables site, so if you want to learn how to make something or do something, you can go to the Instructables. They also have many contests up under Instructables. Inventor Professional is what we're going to be downloading today. A couple of the other items as we cruise down, just to show you the rest of it. There's some simulation tools for an analysis, mold flows and mold flow analysis if you're designing molds. Vehicle tracking if you're doing vehicle movements. That's something brand new. Vex assembler. So that's something if you're using Vex robotics parts. Quantity takeoff for building estimation. And so we're going to go to Inventor Professional. And so the deal is that you qualify for the 3-year license. You have to tell 2-bit or 64-bit. And if you're not sure, you have to go to the control panel and the system button, or the system option under your control panel, to determine whether you're running a 32 or 64-bit operating system. License information, your serial number, you want to write that down, and the product key, you'll need to write that down also. You could also, they'll say that you've got an email with that information um, with that. There's different ways to install. You can install it now and use the installer. It's roughly 4 gigs, so you need to have a decent internet connection. If your internet connection is flaky or is very slow, you can download it and save it. Either download now or actually do a browser download and then save it to a flash drive. Bring an 8 gig flash drive to save it if you're going to do it at the school. And it will take a little while because they do throttle back downloads. So those two are, if you want to save it to your hard drive or save it to a flash drive, install now will use the Autodesk installer and install it. And when you go ahead and click any of these, you'll then get started on that installation process. That's how easy it is. It's pretty simple to get the software. The key is signing up for the account. Once you sign up for the account and you've downloaded the software, you can start utilizing it immediately. They also have installation help. And again, Sinclair does not provide any help for downloading or installing the software, but Autodesk does. So somewhere, somebody in the world has had your problem. I guarantee your problem is not unique. The key is you can check on it here under the installation activation help. They've got a really cool learning center. It'll open up a new tab. And so it kind of gets into what you're involved in: engineering and product design, manufacturing, industrial design, and then it shows you the different product tools associated with it. So it's a really cool tool to kind of get into what types of software tools you might want to start to explore in addition to what we're working with Inventor. Autodesk Simulation 360 is pretty amazing also in what you can animate and work with. So there's some interesting tools that you can work with that. So take your time and it will install as long as your system is up to par, and up to par means that it's going to have a Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8. I recommend Windows 7 or Windows 8. It's going to need a minimum of 6 gigs of RAM, and it may need a separate graphics card for Inventor if you're running on a desktop. It shouldn't, but it may. It is a very powerful tool. That might be one of the little glitches. Laptop requirements are lower, 4 gigs of RAM. You don't need a separate graphics card, things like that. But having a separate graphics card will make your system run a little bit faster. I'm not saying that it's a requirement. I'm saying that it may suggest that you look at one of those. And they're fairly inexpensive. Those are under $50. You can buy a separate graphics card for your system that will qualify for it. If you're not sure if your system qualifies, you can always try emailing me. Basically, if your system is older than 4 years, it's going to be on the edge of whether it can run the software. But any system that is roughly 3 years or newer, you should have no problems. Have a great day.